Good morning and welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Behaviour. Beyond the Behaviour is going to be a series podcast where we look deeper and we listen better to the work that's going on with young people. A lot of our work that we've done in the past has been really positive, and it's the reason why is we've been able to explore what behaviour is and how we respond to it. The vision behind this podcast is Boxwell. So Boxwell is an alternative education provision in Darlington run by myself and supported by my guest Neil. We have been operating this provision now for around about 6 years, and it's been going from strength to strength. What we would like to do is share an insight into what we've been doing, how it operates, and some of the successes that we've had to date by looking deeper and listening better. I hope you enjoy the journey. It should be a fun one, and we look forward to inviting lots of different guests in the near future to share their experiences. So Neil, welcome aboard. This is our first podcast of Beyond the Behaviour. How do you feel?
A little bit nervous, first time in front of the cameras, or first time on a podcast, should I say. But I'm ready to go, good to go.
Good.
Looking forward to it.
I'm really looking forward to your energy today coming across. People get to see what we see on a daily basis down at Boxwell.
Yeah.
So what I'm wanting to do, just to get this going a little bit, you know my background in youth work.
Yeah.
I think we just need to do a little bit of an icebreaker, get used to the camera, get used to the microphones in our faces.
Of course.
We're going to do a quick fire round, okay?
Yeah.
So I want you to be dead honest. I want you to be straightforward. Don't think too much about it.
Yeah.
All right? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Quick fire round for Neil. So Neil, dead quick, pads or sparring?
Pads.
Early morning workout or a late night one?
That's got to be late night.
Late night.
Yeah, it has to be. Energy's higher.
Discipline or motivation?
Discipline beats motivation all day.
Tough love or a quiet word?
Tough love.
Tough love.
Tough love.
The best punch in boxing?
Jab all day.
Jab?
Yeah, good jab.
Give me one word that describes the Boxwell lads.
One word to describe the lads. I'd have to go with 2 words. Action-packed. Action-packed.
I think they'll find that out today.
2 words.
What's your biggest achievement in sport?
National champion, amateur boxing, won the boys' clubs. Massive deal, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. What makes you proudest in a Boxwell session?
It's got to be seeing the lads grow, mature, and obviously improve the boxing is a massive one for me. But yeah, and a growing confidence massive, yeah.
If a young person could leave you with one quality, what would that be?
I've just mentioned it. Discipline from what we do. Discipline from sport, can then lead and work later on in life as well. Different aspects. So discipline would be discipline.
Brilliant. Quick fire done.
Okay, quick fire for me done. I've got a quick fire for you as well, Paul.
Let's go.
So, boxing gym or boardroom?
Boxing gym.
5 a.m. graft or a midnight planning session?
Oh, midnight. I'm up till silly o'clock in the morning thinking about that things.
Yeah, 2 words, discipline or empathy?
Tough one, but I'm going to go with empathy. Yeah.
Being a dad, dad mode or director mode?
Or dad mode. Easy.
Again, being a footballer, football boots or boxing gloves?
Football boots. Has to be.
Quiet one-to-one mentoring session or a group session energy?
Definitely a group session energy. That's where the best work.
What drives you more, proving people wrong or helping young people win?
It's got to be helping young people win. I've been doing it for that long.
Give me one word that describes Boxwell.
Oh, that's a toughie. I'm going to go innovative.
Innovative, good one. Give me one word that describes you.
Passionate.
And that's a quick fire round over.
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker done in front of the camera for the first time. Well, first time doing a podcast.
Yeah.
With the boxing and stuff. I've done interviews and press conferences and stuff.
So this is just a blast from the past.
First time, yeah. First time in years.
Brilliant. So the next step. Okay. I've got a couple of questions I want to fire at you, Neil. Yeah. All right, because I want people to know and understand you.
Yeah.
What your qualities are, what your skills are, and what you bring to the table for the young people that we work with. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
First of all, my name's Neil Hepper. I'm a former amateur and professional boxer. I've been involved in health and fitness industry for just shy of 20 years. Background working in gyms, level 3 personal trainer. Obviously, I've got the boxing background in terms of boxing as an amateur, boxing as a professional, but I now teach it as well. So I teach one-to-ones ranging from young people to adults. And of course, going over today's session, I'm part of our alternative provision, head of boxing.
Cool. From your experience so far with Boxwell, because Boxwell was new, you'd worked with people in different kind of arenas. You worked with adults and children and things.
Yeah.
What was that kind of move into Boxwell like for you? How did you find it?
It was exciting when you first come up with the idea, and you said I'm looking to start an alternative provision. I knew, obviously, with your background, working with young people, that you had sort of that side to bring to the table. And then the fact that you called it Boxwell was obviously a massive thing for me, to bring me on board. So it was exciting. Obviously, it was different. I hadn't worked in an alternative provision before. I'd worked with one-to-one basis young people. Challenging, probably, maybe was one of the things I would think. What sort of challenges is it going to bring? Working with young people who've been kicked out of school or come from certain backgrounds. Yes, exciting. I was just really looking forward to it. When you mentioned it, obviously I'd just turned self-employed, teaching in gyms, personal training, etc.
Yeah.
So it was just a case of, I was well up for it. So I was buzzing for it.
Good.
Great idea.
And let's be fair, the biggest thing is you get to work with your big brother, don't you? So
yeah, every day. Didn't see enough of you.
So no, that's brilliant, because I think what a lot of people don't realise is that, yes, we're brothers and we work together, but we are two very different characters.
Yeah, 100%.
And we bring a lot of difference to the table.
Yeah.
So whereas you brought that skills and experience in the fitness industry, the boxing, training, been there, done that, bought the T-shirt as an amateur, like you said, as national amateur champion, like what an achievement that is.
Massive.
It was really important for me to bring you on board for that, because if we want to inspire young people as we're moving forward, I want them to know that they can speak to someone who's been there, done that, bought the T-shirt. I think that's so valuable, because some of the questions that they can say, "Oh, Neil, how did you find that?"
Yeah.
I think that's something that I would not be able to bring to the table, and giving young people something to aspire to is also fantastic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's brilliant to have you on board, and really do appreciate that. So what I'll do is I'll just tell you a little bit about me.
Yeah, tell us how Boxwell came around. Like you came to me with this idea where two brothers are going to join forces. You bring working with young people to the table, I bring boxing to the table, and then we join forces. But how you obviously working full time doing something else with obviously young people. How did you come up with the idea? Where did it come from? Why did you choose boxing? Obviously, I must have came into it, but
yeah,
tell me about it. How did it come around?
So what happened was, if the first sniffle of an alternative provision was, I was working with a gentleman called Brian Dean, good pal of mine, and we were having some cake and tea on one of our breaks at McNair Street Children's Centre, and I'd seen a couple of alternative providers, but this was a long time ago, before they were really a thing. There was a couple kicking around, and I really felt that what I saw, I was like, do you know what? I'd love to do something like that myself. There was a difficult time at the local authority I was working for at Darlington about jobs and things like that. So I was kind of forced to have a look at what options were available. I'd always wanted to do it, so I wrote it down on a napkin, and I said, I'm going to do an alternative provision.
Manifestation.
That's it. I'm going to do it. But at the time, I didn't know that. There was a napkin there. I got it. I got a pen. It was a red pen. I wrote it down. I said, I'm going to run my own alternative provision within the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
I didn't have a name for it. I didn't know what it looked like. I probably thought at the time it was going to be around like allotments or something like that.
Yeah.
Something that you could give back to the community a bit.
Of course.
But yeah, I've still got that piece of paper as well, that napkin.
Yeah, like a different engagement, using a different tool as engagement. Obviously, you decided on boxing, didn't you? But you thought you might use a different engagement. It could be football, it could be allotments.
Yeah, there was obviously my biggest passion, first of all, is football. Boxing's secondary. I've loved boxing because of your journey and the training. I think it's fantastic. Nothing better for your mental health. But I looked at it and I left it. And then later on down the line, I remember my granddad saying to us, Paul, in your lifetime, I would love you to run your own business.
Yeah, be your own boss.
Yeah, I'm a man who's worked for the man. I've worked in Morrison's, I've worked at a local authority.
Yeah,
I've done always work for somebody else. So I've generally felt that business was not for me. I didn't even know what tax was. You know, it just come off my paycheck at the end of the year. So what I was able to do was say, do you know what? There's not a real niche for me until I came across what is now Future Pathways, but used to be Martin Gray's football academy.
Yeah.
And that was my first experience really of what an alternative provision can do for a young person.
Yeah.
I was working in residential childcare, and one of the kids that I was working with attended a provision like that. So I saw them, I got to know Martin Gray really, really well. I saw some of the staff were fantastic, really, really good at what they did, but offered so much more than anybody else that I'd ever seen. So I was like, right, you're the gold standard of that area for me at that time.
Yeah.
I'd love to take everything I've ever learned from all of my experiences and put them into a provision. Again, I wasn't too sure what it was going to look like, so I did a little bit of brainstorming, and I was like, right, what is the biggest discipline in my life? And it was training. It was boxing.
Yeah.
Who do I know and who do I trust to come on my journey with me? That's you.
Yeah.
Okay? We know each other inside out. I know what you're thinking, you know what I'm thinking. And it was just seemed to be the best step forward. But what I wanted to do was make sure that what we were delivering was value for money, it was fit for purpose, and it was really, really valuable, not only to the people who were buying the service in, but to the individuals that are coming to access it. So I took every experience I'd ever done from youth work, from family work, from residential childcare, and a little bit of what I'd saw with Martin Gray and his team. And I was like, right, I believe I can build something here. And I did.
Yeah.
So then I went home, I bought a company, I called it Boxwell. And the reason why was I wanted to deliver boxing for the box and wellness and life skills. We put it together. And that
bearing in mind when you're talking about that, we started on, and you almost started to call it a side hustle. I know you opened the business, but we started on 1 day a week. You said to me, Neil, are you free on a Monday? Have you got any clients in? Can you make space on a Monday?
Yeah.
We're going to start Boxwell. Obviously, you give me all the details. But yeah, so we started on 1 day a week.
Yeah. We
had one student. Obviously, I'm not going to drop any names in, but yeah, he was a great student. He's come a long way. Then how have we grew it? Like where look at where we are now.
So what was important, because obviously, like you said there, I was a full-time residential childcare worker, working 24 hours at a time. What an experience that was, to be fair in itself. It was fantastic. But I had to work this out. If I wasn't able to put all of my eggs in one basket, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what the mission was. I knew it was to improve the lives of the young people we were working with. But I needed to make sure that it grew organically. It grew at a point where I didn't run before I could walk. I knew this space was important, and I knew that young people would buy into what we were trying to do, and I wanted to make sure that we could deliver it the best we could, because without the quality, it's nothing.
Yeah, you couldn't have jumped in and just said, I'm going full time with this, could you? You've got to...
No.
You had to build it up and build a reputation, which we have done, a very good reputation. So it's come a long way, hasn't it? From 1 day a week on a Monday to then taking on a Tuesday, then taking on a Wednesday, then more students, and building it like we've done now. We've got it full time 5 days a week.
Yeah. So that
speaks for itself, doesn't it? Really,
it does, and I think that's the for me one of the big strengths of the provision so far has been our ability to grow at the right pace. You know, like you said, we did 1 day a week, we did 2 days a week,
literally one at a time. I did another day,
and then when it came to the third day of the week, I had to leave my other job. So at that point, it was a pivotal time of, do I really believe in Boxwell that much? Because what we needed to do was double what we were already doing.
Yeah.
And I was adamant that I wouldn't just jump ship. But what we did was we were able to use the momentum that we were on, we were getting positive outcomes. We were getting great feedback from schools, parents, and kids.
You've got to take that risk, haven't you? In business, when you said to me, I think I'm gonna leave the council. I'm gonna stop full-time work, and I'm gonna put all my time and effort into Boxwell. That is a risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a risk for your livelihood. It's a risk if Boxwell didn't take off the way it did. But I think in business, if you don't take these risks, you're not going to get the rewards, have you? So it's obviously it's paid off for you and it's paid off for us.
Yeah, it has, and I believe that where we're at right now, and the reason why we're as successful as we are, the outcomes we've achieved, the feedback we get from partners and things like that, it's because of the way we grew. It's slowly...
It's all organic growth, wasn't it?
Yeah, it slowly got better as well. So what you might not see behind the scenes and what a lot of other people won't see behind the scenes is that things have changed, things have developed and progressed, paperwork, our recording, our evidence generating, it's became better, more innovative, more streamlined, to a point now where we're even going further. We had a little bit of a hiccup back in September, but that little setback is potentially going to take us on to a whole new level, which is fantastic and really good. But yeah, how have you found that journey through? Because again, you said you come from a very different background. You never really worked with children, young people at that level.
Yeah.
How have you found it? What have you changed in that time, or?
I've definitely changed in that time. Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I hadn't worked with young people at, say, that level or with that background. I hadn't had the experience that you do. I know my side of the job is the boxing side, but obviously I'm with you guys all day, and I've learned a lot along the way from you about how young people work, how to work with young people, etc., etc. So for me, the journey's, I'm growing all the time. You must see I'm a different Neil, not necessarily different Neil, but I'm a different person from the start. It's a 6-year journey of working with young people. My confidence is massive in terms of working with young people. I mean, I'm a confident person anyway, but with the boxing and stuff. But I mean, yeah, just working with young people. Like it's, I enjoy it. Obviously, I'm passionate about it. You said describe you in one word was passionate. I'm just as passionate. Hence why we work the way we do. Two brothers who are passionate about making a difference, because that's what we're about, aren't we? Yeah, we enjoy absolutely. What we do. You haven't brought me on board as a member of staff. Let's say I don't walk into work and not want to be there. I don't walk into work and say, who we got today? So I'm as passionate about growing the business as you are. So and working with young people. So yeah, the journey's been good so far.
We're only at the beginning.
We're only at the start.
Yeah. So what's been the biggest insight for you of Boxwell? So what do you think's its biggest strength? If I would say to you, I want one strength from you about Boxwell, why is it successful? What would you say?
I think we've just used the word passionate. I think you've got, I'm going to repeat myself. I think passion's a massive one. You've always worked with young people. I could blow your trumpet all day about that, and people might call me biased and stuff like that, but it's not biased if it's, you've got 20 years experience, more. How many years experience?
Too many.
Working with young people, whether it's youth work, whether it's with the council, as you say, in care, stuff like that, and all these different avenues, APs. So yeah, passion's, that's just a word that I can keep repeating. That's why it works. And I think the young people see that. The young people know we care.
Yeah.
Like, they know we do. To sing our praises, we don't need them to sing our praises, but they do. They see us as two mentors. They look up to us. We've had young people after they've left Boxwell, still to this day. They might have left when they were 16, to 20, to 21. They still message me and you to tell us how they're getting on in life, what they're on with, ask us questions. It's, again, what we can call it, rewarding, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, I'll just repeat the word passion. That's how I would describe it. And that's why I would say it works so well.
How nice is it for you and for me to know that you've had that sort of impact on someone's life who at one point didn't know you from Adam.
Oh, massive.
And they've bought into what we were delivering. Yeah. They've bought into the way we delivered it. They've bought into just our way of working and thinking. We changed mindsets to a point where a lot of the young people come in would be would be described by their education setting or by certain members of the family or whatever to say that they're not succeeding, they're failing. And, you know, we've got experience of people who've been kicked out of every alternative provision available. They've been kicked out of mainstream schools. They've been taken out of specialist provision.
Yeah, I'd say environment and I'd say energy. They're in an environment where, let's say, they belong or they can thrive or they can work or they're working with two people who are very patient, two people who have got great energy. Again, blowing out trumpets, but it's proof in the pudding, isn't it? But I just use them two words. I use the environment that they're in. Yeah, you know, that environment wasn't right for them. This environment wasn't, and this environment wasn't right for them. If they feel comfortable around us or in that environment, you know, we use boxing as a tool, but there's a lot more goes on in boxing than boxing. Yeah. They're in a place where they can grow and where they can thrive, and any ideas they have, then we can look onto it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of set the scene, because there'll be a few people watching this or listening to it. We'll go, they won't really know what Boxwell is to a certain degree. So I'm going to go into a little bit more depth of that.
Yeah.
Please jump in if you want to add something to it and feel the need to. But Boxwell is the alternative provision where young people who are either excluded, expelled, or struggling within a mainstream setting, where they come along and they require additional support. So that additional support will be they're struggling with the behaviour, they're struggling with attention, lots of different reasons why their journey so far in education has not been as successful as people would have liked.
Yeah.
So provisions like ours set themselves up as we are able to support young people in X, Y, and Z areas. We may work on the education, so it might be English, maths, and science. Some it might be motivational turnaround, very much focus what we're on. And for me, Boxwell sits in a little bit of a niche market where we use physical activity, not just boxing, but physical activity in general, to build a connection, all right, with a child or a young person, which gets to a point where we don't start to want to change people's lives and improve them without getting to know what makes them tick and tock first. The word I always use is connection before correction.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
That's really
it was written on there, but it's not, is it?
No, that's on the Boxwell stuff. So what we're able to do is understand that young person from a holistic point of view, from every different avenue. So I will get a referral from a school, from the local authority, social care, and it will have all of that personal information on there, the details of what's been working, what's not working, what needs this young person particularly has. You know, they struggle in certain environments, they need that type of support. That comes into us, and we will literally break that down. We'll have information, maybe if they've got an EHCP plan, educational healthcare plan. We will use that information and we will build a little bit of a one-page profile of what this young person is about. So we bring them in, we have a look at them, we do the baseline assessment, and we will say, right, okay, we've got, say, little Johnny, we're going to have him in, he's going to come in 1 day a week. We're going to carefully and strategically place him in with a Monday group, a Wednesday group. So we're using information.
You're pretty good at that in terms of where will this individual sit well, maybe not sit well, and sort of integrate them that way, don't we? And then we can say, right, this person will actually work a bit better with this person or this person. Yeah, and we set certain days, which obviously we leave to you, but we work that well.
It has to, and for me, it's probably the most important thing is that where you place them. So I've had referrals. So Paul, we need a placement 3 days a week. You know, this young person, he's come with X, Y, and Z, you know, background, and there's the information. Can you put him in? It's like, no, it's, we've got to do things correctly.
Yeah, something else I've noticed about what you do and what we do is the bums on seats thing, where you've just said there, I'm not just going to take little Johnny, for instance. I'm not just going to take him because he's a number. I'm not just going to put him in there because he's a number. If this individual is going to come into a group, that's already a group, it's working well, and it's going to disrupt that group, or they're not going to sit well, or, you know, it might clash. You're not a bums on a seat provision, are you?
No. And
Numbers,
it
you're
could
not.
be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
It could be. You know, if it was a numbers exercise and it was a business exercise, then you know you employ more staff, you get more people in. But ultimately, the success of Boxwell so far has been the right people at the right time with the right support.
Yeah.
And that's what I was kind of heading towards. Was it's so important that young person comes into our provision. And it doesn't have a massive impact on those who are already there because they're on their own little learning journey.
Yeah.
So if we bring somebody else in and that has a massive disruption, then that creates 6 problems. In the flip side, this person who's coming in, their experience has got to be the most valuable it can. It's got to be fit for purpose. It's got to be the right support at the right time. So if I've shot them into a group, 6 kids who've been there for 6 months and have already established these relationships.
I was going to say that about flip side because the way our young people behave, some schools, let's say, wouldn't believe that we can have X, Y, Z all together in the same group. So on flip side of what I've just said about disrupting or coming in and causing like an inconvenience, let's say, with a group, it's the flip side is they come in and they think the level of respect that they give us, or well, you behave well. Why? How can you behave like that here? Just because that's what we do. You know, I know you give an introduction and what we do expect.
Yeah,
but the lads kind of speak for themselves. Just by the behaviour and the level of respect that we've got. So that's the flip side. It's that, isn't it? Bringing somebody in, and
it's about the ethos for me. You know, when a young person comes in and you walk in, if everyone's sat there doing as they're told, everyone's giving good energy, everyone's kind of being kind and respectful. You know, we're massive on please and thank yous.
Yeah.
You know, we have the lads open the door for each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's having a lot of those ethoses in place. And I remember that young man who came in and said, Paul, can I ask you a question? Why does nobody misbehave here? I mean, because there's no reason to. I'm not teaching you English and maths. I'm teaching you about life skills. I'm teaching you about, you know, what's really important in life is to be heard, valued, respected. And in order for that to happen, you have to behave in a certain way. You will get more attention from me from being kind and respectful to your peers and putting as much energy into what we're trying to do as you can than you would be for, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, if that, and it's happened in the past, not very often, but very minimal.
Very, very little.
But if he goes, I'm not engaging, it's ultimately about, right, find out why. That behaviour, you know, behaviour's become a problem or an issue. I don't want to say a problem, I would say an issue within the school. And that's the reason why they're coming to Boxwell or they're going to an alternative provider, is because the needs can't be met within that mainstream school.
Yeah.
So we celebrate that we're able to meet that.
Yeah, that's that environment thing I was talking about earlier.
And we are able to do that, and I think that's fantastic. But no one's kind of experience is diluted by that. So we go, this is the Boxwell way. This is what we expect. If you can do that, fantastic. If you can't do that, this might not be the provision for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm more than happy in saying, I don't think we're the right place for you. We haven't done it yet. We haven't needed to. No. But I would be so comfortable in saying, do you know what, young man? I think you deserve better than what we can offer you. So I think I would like to help you explore another option.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we can really do enough for you. And that's a massive thing because...
Yeah, it goes back to that bums on seats thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I want that young person to succeed. I want them to have every opportunity to be the best version of themselves you can be.
Yeah.
You know, not just, come in here, it'll be all right. I want it to be excellent. I want them to go walking down the street and they'll go, oh, there's the Boxwell van.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. You know, yeah. It's been an amazing journey so far.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I've probably gone a little bit off in different tangents here. But I just want to try and get across... It's the way the provision's run and the way it's delivered that makes it unique. And it's nothing that no one else can't copy or, you know, there's other people who do what we do. I think we're one of 38 providers in Darlington now, which is, wow.
A lot,
you know, when we started, I think we were one of 8.
Yeah.
Now we're one of 38. And we've got to maintain our standards nice and high. And we've got to make sure that what makes us special, right? And I don't want to sit here and just sing our praises because we've got areas for development. It's part and parcel of growth. But this here, looking deeper, listening better, for me, is the massive success behind Boxwell. Because we're not judging you by a referral. You know, we appreciate the referral comes with information, but we're not putting a label on you, because your behaviour, the way you've behaved in your previous setting, is an indication that something's not quite right.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not a reflection on them.
No.
It's a reflection on their environment.
If you looked at the behaviour of X and you looked at a referral of X, they wouldn't match.
No.
I'm not saying that this referral is wrong. What I'm saying is, in our environment and with us, this person isn't this person. Or this person sharp becomes not this person. Because, again, I've used the word a lot many times, but the environment and the way we teach.
Yeah. It's the expectation is really high. It's probably too high in some respects, but we always want young people to strive to be better than they are. I did a great example of this the other day. So there was a review of one of our students' EHCP, the Education Healthcare Plan.
Yeah.
And this young person's looking for a specialist provision, all right? And this EHCP plan it's out of date. It describes this young person as can't be in a group, you know, struggles in this area, struggles in that area. We need to do this, we need to do that. 1-to-1 here, 2-to-1 maximum. And that information at that time was very, very valid. We took it on board. When they came on board, it was a very, very small group. It was in our earlier stages. But what was the biggest success story for this individual was when we reviewed the points on the HCP, he can't do this. It changed. It was, he can do this.
Yeah.
In the right environment.
Yeah, of course.
You know, he can be in a group if the group is dynamically assessed properly. You know, this young person can't concentrate more than 10 seconds, 10 minutes. Oh, he can. He's with us all day. He's with us from 9:30 until 2:30. So we were able to celebrate so much and go, yes, your EHCP or your referral states this, but your reason to come to Boxwell is growth.
Yeah, of course.
I want you to be better. I want you to be stronger mentally. I want you to be stronger physically. I want you to be able to manage your emotions, and you do that by getting that right and them right. That's the start.
Yeah.
So when we looked at the EHCP, and I was like, you can do that. And they were like, really? And I could reel off 10 examples. And I'll go, yeah, you can do that now. And they'll go, all right. So all of a sudden we took what schools would look at from a specialist point of view of, we can't meet his needs because he can't do that. This is the same person. Same young person. Yeah. Just the journey, it allowed them to be positive.
That's progression, isn't it?
Growth and the right support at the right time. And there'll be a lot of people who look at this at Boxwell and go, do you know what, Paul? You're not delivering your English and maths.
Yeah.
And I get that, because from a holistic point of view, absolutely. All right. Young people need to be educated. I value the education system. But what's more important for me is you've got to be in the right position to learn. You've got to be right up here and ready and prepared to learn. That's for me where the growth goes from like that to like that. We often get young people who come in, they're down here, we bring them up a level, they start to peter a little bit, they kind of get comfortable, we take it up again, because it's about growth. And sometimes we'll have a drop off, but our aim is to always go back. And I think that's the examples we've got of that at Boxwell. Is we've got a young man successfully in the army. I know we won't mention his name.
No.
Hopefully.
Maybe a guest.
Future guest in the future. But we've got other people who've opened their own businesses. We've transitioned young people into amateur boxing. I know you've done that directly. We've got a couple at the moment. You know, it's not just about what we're doing right now.
No.
It's about what can we do to make sure that young person is in a better position than they were when they started.
Yeah, you've just said, obviously mentioned no names, but you've just said we've had a couple who I can think of and a couple who are currently doing it, where they have enjoyed the boxing with me, they've learned, they've enjoyed it that much that they've then joined a local boxing gym, whether we've pointed them in the right direction. They are now 3 days a week, 4 days a week, or 4 nights a week, they're training at these boxing gyms, they're eating well, they're out running, they're training with us, they're at a boxing gym. The word discipline, going back to the start, is massive, like huge. That young person now could be out hanging about with their friends and doing this and doing. They've now adopted a sport, a very, very, very hard sport.
Yeah.
And they are now potential athletes that are at least got, well, we can't even call it a hobby. They've had amateur boxing matches, and we've got two who are training now to do the same. So you said about, we've had a young person join the army, massive, turned his life around. Again, we're not going to mention no names, but so have these other people by joining the boxing gym and taking on, as I've said, a massively tough sport.
Yeah. It's been a good journey, and it's certainly not over. Which brings us on nicely to this podcast.
Yeah.
So obviously today is more about us getting to know. Everyone else getting to know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And there'll be a session which I'm going to go into a little bit more in depth in about Boxwell, but that was a little snapshot. But we want people to look at behaviour and not look at it as a negative. It's an action of my current environment, or I'm struggling and need some additional support. It's just presented negatively in challenging behaviour. And I think when you're able to unpick what's going on behind, when you look a little bit deeper, what is the trigger point? Why is that a trigger point? And when you listen better, which is obviously what the podcast is about, how do you feel about bringing professionals in? And we'll do this, me and you sat here on this side. You can come and join me over this end.
How do I feel about it?
What do you think about bringing those people into, so they can share their experiences and what they think about it?
Yeah, I think you should bring professionals in, see what their take on Boxwell is, and have a discussion on different subjects. I think past students, and I've just mentioned about the students who are still in touch with us after 4 and 5 years, updating us on how they're getting on and stuff like that, which is massive for us.
Yeah.
With their permission, obviously, bring them in, ask them about their time at Boxwell, discuss about their time at Boxwell, where they're at now since Boxwell, how it's changed their lives, because it has on many situations. So professionals and students, I think we can bring a few guests in.
Yeah. Anyone in particular that you think, would be good, like not even a person, but like a certain type of professional where you would go, you want to see and you want to hear what their take on behaviour. So not even the Boxwell stuff, just like behaviour.
You could bring a teacher. We've got good relations with different schools. These teachers have seen clear evidence of what we do. They've seen behavioural changes. They've seen character changes. For you to bring a professional as in a teacher who has dealt with X, Y, and Z of our students would be class, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Get a feedback from that. But anybody in a professional field of mental health would be good. Teaching, I think there's a few different avenues we can go down.
Well, I'm hoping that we can take this podcast a little bit further, open up a little bit, try to get some different viewpoints. And what I'm really keen on is I want a little bit of challenge as well. I would like someone to come in and say, do you know what? I love what you're doing at Boxwell, but why don't you do this? Or why do you do it that way and things? Because I think there's always good, like, professional challenge where I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. There's things that we can improve on.
Definitely.
But I also want to use that as a different viewpoint to understand where we can further improve with Boxwell and where we can further improve the system, really, because the education system, it's quite rigid. I know it's obviously with the introduction of alternative providers, it's becoming bigger, and but I would like to speak to teachers and understand how challenging it is. What do they find the most challenging part of that?
Yeah, it could be a different conversation, can't it? It doesn't just have to be about Boxwell. It can be about the education system, and if a teacher would want to speak about that and why they use APs, why APs are important. There's different, like I said, there's different avenues we can go down. Staying within education, AP, etc.
When you talk about AP, all right, and when you talk about there's 38, I think there's 38 on the register in Darlington, like that just shows to me the amount of support that's required. We're at full capacity. We have been for a little while now, and it's really positive. But there is different levels and there's different needs. You've obviously got there's horse riding, you've got motorbikes, you've got other boxing provisions.
Yeah, and there's different. That's a different tool for engagement, isn't it? the outcome, hopefully, well, it is with the APs the same. But you've just said it. Not everybody would want to box. Not everybody would want to ride a horse. Not everybody want to play football. So when you said you might point a student in a different direction if this particular program didn't work for them, there's a big reason why there's different APs, because there's different tools for different individuals.
Yeah. Different horses for different courses.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what I want you know a little bit about this, but not too much, because I've been doing this behind the scenes. But Boxwell's growing, it's developing. We've got our HQ base.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully coming in the next probably month or so.
Yep.
Where we will be delivering education. So that adds an additional tool to
so
our
straight to the
repertoire.
boys, isn't it? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because the value of education's massive. And again, if we can replicate the environment in how we deliver things at Boxwell, we can put that into an education base, then that should be or could be very, very successful.
It's a different avenue within Boxwell, isn't it?
Yeah, what the main for me,
Still
the
going to
main,
use the same tools, aren't we? And
yeah, but we won't lose anything. For me, it's an addition.
Yeah.
So Boxwell, as it operates on a daily basis now, between me and you, doesn't change. So young people will be able to come in for a period of time, and they'll be able to do a bit of a motivational turnaround, an opportunity to get, develop the skills, develop the confidence, self-esteem, and put them in a much better position, ready to either fall in love with education again, back in their mainstream school, step into a specialist provision, or move on to post-16 plans. But for some people, they don't need that. They need the support around education. So that will be a different avenue that people can access. So we will have a teacher and a teaching assistant based in our building, and young people will be able to go there for that one-to-one support, that one-to-one guidance, that one-to-one education. And I believe that there's going to be an opportunity for people to go, you know what, I'm at Boxwell and I'm ready to learn, but I'm not ready to go and jump back into a school with 1,000 people.
Yeah, 100%.
I need that next step. So what we're able to do...
Not only that, they're in Boxwell headquarters, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we talk about comfort or environment. I've said the word a lot of times, but if you're already in Boxwell headquarters, the boxing's going really well, the engagement's going really well. And we've had it before where young people have said to us, I think I'm ready to go back to school, or my GCSEs are in year 11. And they start panicking a little bit because they're thinking about what they're going to do after. If we've got that tool there in Boxwell headquarters, well, it's massive, isn't it? Because they've already decided they want to make, or they're in between. I'm thinking about going back to school, I'm thinking about going back in education. If we can say, you can do it here.
Yeah, first step here.
Or first step here at least. Comfort zone, isn't it? It's much more comfortable there than, as you said, jumping straight back into lessons or jumping straight back into school.
Yeah, being one of 4, 5, 6 young people at Boxwell to then going back in to be around 1,000 people, in a normal mainstream school is massive, it's huge. So I think that having the ability to be able to say, let's try it. What is it we can do? And one of the projects that we've got when the building opens is the young people on Boxwell are going to design the education base. So we've got an education base downstairs. HQ is going to be upstairs. They are going to design the tables, the chairs, the arrangements, the decor, you name it. They are going to
a certain extent.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. But ultimately, there's nothing that's going to be too restrictive if they can explain why. So I'll give you a quick example. So I've been looking into some people on LinkedIn who design and develop classrooms. And for some people, for those young people who can't sit down, they don't have seats. They have bars, breakfast bars, or tables that you can raise up to the height of the young person.
Yeah,
so they're able to move their feet and do other things. There's going to be break-off spaces, safe spaces, and things like that. So when people become overwhelmed, they might go, do you know what, I just need 5 minutes to myself. No problem. There's a break-off room there. There might be some sensory bits in there. And so this is going to be really good for these young people who've gone full circle of, I want to go and learn again, Paul. I want to go and learn again, Neil. How can I do it? We can do it in this environment, and we can be flexible with that approach. Like, how powerful is that?
Yeah, that's the next step when you say about growth, isn't it? We've gone from 1 day a week to 5, and this is going to be the next step for Boxwell, isn't it?
How many young people do you reckon that we've changed their lives?
What? Not all of them. You mean? You mean ones that where I can see a major change, or just
No.
Because every student we make a change, but where I've lost count.
Yeah.
I've lost count. Whether it's joining boxing gyms, whether it's going back to school, whether it's joining the army, making better decisions, just their whole character, the confidence. I could go on and on, but endless.
So do you believe that when a student comes to Boxwell,
Yeah.
okay, they come in in a certain position, and then they buy into what we're trying to do, they buy into how we deliver it, the way we work, the expectations, and they leave in a much better position than they were when they started.
100%.
Yeah. So with that though, everything that we've put into them, because sometimes it's not what we say, sometimes it's what we do, or sometimes it's the opportunity that's being given. I'll give you an example. All right. If you want someone to be confident, you can't, it's not a bottle.
No.
You can't give them confidence.
No.
But we're able to give them an opportunity to be confident. If you struggle socially and emotionally about talking to new people, all right, then I'm going to give you an opportunity in a safer environment to go and talk to somebody else.
I've seen you use like tools where they don't know what you're doing, but you might say, so-and-so, our ex, you're going to go and put the order in for dinner.
Yep.
Yep. So that I know what you're doing. They don't know what you're doing, but when you've just talked about engaging with new people or going into a restaurant and as you said, you're getting little Johnny to pay the bill to ping or, you know, obviously with your watch. But yeah, these little jobs, let's call them, they're not other the tools of engagement, aren't they?
Yeah. Of course.
So yeah, I pick up on that.
It's like hidden messages, you know. If I want to get a message to you, but
It sounds little, but it's not.
No.
When you just talk about confidence,
Yeah.
this individual wouldn't have done that before.
No.
But the way how subtle you are, and you know, give this little job, you're gonna order, you're gonna pay, you're gonna collect these, you're gonna grab the drinks. Just little jobs is a little confidence booster each time, isn't it?
Because at the end of the day, if I sit down here, say, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, based on your experience and maybe your attention span, you're going to switch off. So I'm going to dilute little bits of information to you. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to say, we're going to do this today, we're going to do that today. That's the session plan, bang. But having the ability to be able to manage the room and manage the environment that we're in, if I want to get a message to you, I might put it through that person first.
Yeah.
Because you might listen to that indirectly, because as soon as I start talking to you, you might go, oh, Paul, no, don't talk about it. I've got a few bits on or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, I might talk to you about it as a staff member and go, oh, Neil, did you see that in the press? Oh, what did you do at the weekend sort of thing?
Yeah.
And I think that's the bit, is it's not just about going directly.
Yeah.
Direct work.
Going back to the confidence thing you're on about there, it's not just these little jobs. I mean, a massive example of that would be, again, we're not going to drop any names, but certain individuals in a boxing, when they can't get a particular punch right or they can't get a particular combination right, and we've seen individuals maybe slam the gloves on the floor, split the dummies out, and that individual or them individuals don't do that anymore. Composure, let's call it, emotional regulation, that's massive. Or when they can't get a particular movement right in boxing on that week and that week and that week, and then they do get it, smile on the face.
Yeah.
That, when you said you can't give somebody confidence like that, you can't give them it like that, but that is a massive, noticeable increase of confidence.
Yeah.
Doing their own raps, you know, when we support our hands, bandage our hands up, I'll do it. Then they'll say, let me have a try, or let me watch you do that, and I'll give it a go. Just coming in the boxing gym, doing their own raps, sorting their own gloves out, even helping the other lads do theirs is massive. These are little things of confidence, but they're big, aren't they? So it's character building. It's character building, isn't it?
There's a big thing about relational practice, right? And that's where, you know, they've already bought into the relationship we've got from a professional and a young person. So we still have young people who've been here for a significant amount of time that still don't do their own hand-pumps, all right? And somebody might look at that and go, it's a bit lazy, isn't it? But it's actually not. It's actually, I want that one-to-one contact
of course.
with you or with me.
Yeah.
And you'll know I'm waiting for Neil for my raps.
Yeah, they'll say, Neil, can you do them right? Yeah, it's good.
It's that one-to-one where there's a lot of noise going on around.
Yeah.
When I get to talk to you, when I get to see you, look in your eyes, I get to assess you, see how you're going, And that's massive. And other people might go, he should be able to do them by now. He can do them by now. It's just he chooses not to.
Yeah.
He's looking for that emotional
it's
contact.
that little
He's
one,
looking
isn't
at
it?
relational prize.
Yeah.
He's looking at all those little individual things, because that hand wrap, and you go, are we doing all right? What did you do at the weekend? You go and see your granny, or really sets the tone.
That little 5 minutes.
No, I didn't. I had a really tough one.
100%.
You know, the flexibility is really, really good. That when we know straight away where energy's at from when the moment they get into the van, and we can differentiate and knock it around. Again, massive strength. But here's to the future, because if we can take what we're doing already and even add more value to that, we will be growing. We will be bringing in new people like teachers and teaching assistants. I want that person to just blossom and understand that there's a flexibility and a freedom of being part of Boxwell, where I want their demeanour and I want their kind of attitude to be. I want better. I want a little bit more. And it will be in a way which
the way we work, I think that some people might come in, if they've had different experience at different APs, I think some people might come in and have a smile on their face the way we work and the behaviour we've gathered and we've built up. And
we also demand it as well.
Yeah, well,
there's a massive thing in that, isn't it? Yeah.
I said about before when I said about what the level of what we expect when somebody comes in, not just the behaviour of the other students, but what you expect.
Yeah.
What we expect as a...
it's been a good journey.
Yeah.
Like I say, we're only in our early stages. Yes, we've been going 6 years, but here's to the next 6 years, and we'll look to see who our next visitor is going to be. But you'll be joining me on this side.
Yep.
And we'll have a little bit of talk. So, yeah, we'll look into that. How's it been?
For the first time on a podcast, it's been all right. Felt a bit stiff, but no, it's really good. Like, we're talking about what we do. Yeah. Like, I'm not coming on here and being interviewed, and it's not subjects that I don't know. It's what we do, what we're about, and it's just trying to get that across, isn't it? Yeah. You as an individual, me as an individual, what you're about, what I'm about, our roles in Boxwell, and what Boxwell's about. So, for me, this has been a good introduction. Of what we do and what we're about. Yeah. And there'll be more to come, about you as a person, me as a person. The boxing, we've mentioned former amateur, former professional. We haven't got in any detail, the discipline that comes with it, the making weights, who I've fought, who I've beat, who I've been beat by, the challenge I've had to overcome, which these stories we obviously pass on to our students, especially the ones who are interested in boxing, the ones who are taking it up as a sport.
Yeah.
There's plenty to come and plenty more to discuss about myself and you and the whole program. Perfect.
So I'm going to leave it at that now.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I know it's your school holidays right now, but it's really good. I'm looking forward to seeing how this podcast grows.
Yeah.
And what I do want to get across is it's always good to recognise the impact that you've had. But we're not coming from this from an angle of we're the best thing since sliced bread. We're coming from this from an angle of what we've done over the past 6 years is working. It's having an impact. And we should celebrate that because it's been massive. Don't get me wrong, there's other people that have also been involved in the journeys of some of our people. And we do recognise that and we appreciate that. So it's not us going, we're all this, we're all singing, all dancing. We're good at what we do. We know we're good at what we do. And what we want to make sure is that we can continue to do it at a higher level and support more young people. So, just wanted to put that and finish it on there.
Brilliant. I think that went really well. I look forward to the next one.